We happen to be in the season of Eastertide. Easter Sunday happened a couple of Sundays back with all the Alleluias and He is risen. And we continue bringing the He is risen message for a number of weeks now until we get to Pentecost, if you're following the church calendar. But technically speaking, from a liturgical theology point of view, every single Sunday, when we join together to worship, it is a celebration of the resurrection because we are Easter people. We are resurrection people. We know that the hope that we have, the good news that we have in this world is that death does not get the last word, that life will always have the last word. That's how we're saved. That's how we have freedom to be the people that God has created us to be. And yet, I feel like we very often get stuck on the cross. We get stuck thinking about sin and death and grief and pain and shame and heartache. And we forget that that's actually the work that Christ did for us in saying, you have that burden lifted. You are now called to be free in this world and to look for the places of new life that are at work even now. They're at work even in the face of great injustice, of grave oppression, of all the darkness of the world, the brokenness of our systems, of our fragile humanity that reaches out to oppress others in order to protect ourselves. That is the work of sin in the world. That is the work that pushed Jesus to the cross, a system that said, we refuse to hear life from this Palestinian Jew. We refuse to hear a message from the margins. Instead, our system that thinks it knows best is going to push him out. And that is what Jesus dealt with on the cross in saying, I can take the worst that this world has to offer, and I will show you it will not be the last word. That is not what is most powerful in this world. What is most powerful is God's plan to conquer death and to rise again and to say that all of us get to live into that life even now. I think the biggest call on us as preachers trying to live into a prophetic community as the world around us looks like it's getting harder and harder, more unjust and more unjust. And our role is to look for the places where life is breaking in, where the Spirit of the risen Christ is with us now and saying, this is not the end. This is not the promise. There is something more. So as I'm looking around at my garden this spring, as I'm thinking about how new life can grow in such a toxic environment, I want to look for the places where I see the light of Christ shining in my fellow person, in nature, in all of creation that God is working in for the purposes of a new life, of a new creation, of a new kingdom where life will truly have the last word.